Housekiss, welcome to today's Big Brother Over the Top updates and spoilers. Our Housekiss of the day is Heidi Tobler. What's up, Heidi? Hope you're enjoying the season so far, and if you guys want to be Housekiss of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, so yesterday, Shane won the power of veto, but that's not all. There were also punishments for the losers. Monty can't play in the next power of veto competition. Alex is going to have some sort of disadvantage in her next HOH, you know, because she's not in this next one, but the next one she plays in, it's going to suck for her. So everybody else had punishments too, which I will explain in a minute. Alright, so we know that Danielle and Monty are not getting along. They don't like each other. They both think that the other one is racist. Yay! So yesterday they exchanged some words. After the competition, Whitney was like, I thought it was disrespectful that you, Danielle, were sticking your tongue out at people during the competition. So apparently Danielle was like making faces and sticking out her tongue whenever Monty would go in the competition. And Danielle's like, yeah, well, the person that I did that to has been disrespectful to me. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. Like, I need to say this because he sucks. So she's like, America sees this person talking behind my back, and Monty's like, yeah, I've been talking, I've been defending my character. So then Danny's like, you're a grown man. Would you want somebody talking about your sister behind her back? And she's getting, like, really loud here. Monty's just like, and she's like, America sees! That's why you're have not, and you're on the block this week. And Monty's like, you could be right. So then Danielle is like yelling about these comments that Monty made about Justin and Jason. She's like, you said that Justin stole his clothes. And then Monty's like, Justin and I, like, worked everything out. There's no issue there. Like, I don't know why you're trying to cause all these problems again. And then he's saying that he's looking out for her character now. And she's like, I don't need you looking out for me. Like, if you want to look out for me, get out of this damn room right now. So Monty leaves. And that's pretty much what happened there. Alright, so then Alex, Morgan, and Shelby were in the HOH room. And they're like, what do we do? Because now that Shane has won the power of veto, you know, it's pretty safe to assume he's going to use it on himself, and Alex is going to have to nominate somebody else in his place. So she's like, should I put up Chrissy as the replacement? Alex doesn't feel good about that because she did promise safety to Chrissy earlier this week because she did what Alex asked for her to do with the America's Care package. So she's like, Chrissy's gonna freak out at me. I don't know if this is a good idea. So then they were trying to figure out if they could come up with enough votes for Monty to stay this week. Sorry, I have to. If I don't get the yawn out, I'm gonna be making weird faces the whole time. Okay. So then they're figuring, you know, Monty, he's probably going to get America's vote this week. America's like, bye. So they're trying to figure out, without America, could they get someone from the other side to flip? Like, who could they work on to get their vote this week? So they're like, maybe Neely, because she's kind of got some sort of weird trust thing with Monty. But then they're like, no, she's not going to vote out Danielle. So then they're like, Justin? I'm not really sure why they wanted to target Justin for this vote flip, because I think it's pretty clear that Justin and Monty do not like each other. So then they were talking about potentially, like, threatening one of them, basically, and being like, you are going to be the replacement nominee unless you promise that you're going to vote for Monty to stay, you know, unless you vote out Danielle. So then Scott and Monty joined them. I just want to say, too, doesn't threatening always seem to work on this show? No, it doesn't. All right. So then Scott and Monty joined them, and they're like, maybe we could, like, trick Shane and convince him to vote out Chrissy, like, pretend that she's the target, so then Shane would vote for her. We'd all still vote for Danielle. The vote would be 4 to 4 to 1. Alex breaks the tie and gets rid of Danielle. That's, an interesting idea. I mean, I gotta give them props for, like, trying to go through every scenario here and figure something out, but Alright, so then, you know, the main thing here, Alex does not want Chrissy to know that she could potentially be going up on the block yet. Alex doesn't even know yet if she is going to put Chrissy up on the block, so she doesn't want Chrissy to get, you know, to catch wind of this and start freaking out for no reason. So she's like, just keep it on the down low. Alright, so then Jason, Danielle, and Shane are strategizing in the London room, and they are pretty confident that America's going to be on their side this week and vote out Monty. They're pretty much counting on that vote. So they're wondering if maybe they can get Alex to put up Scott as the replacement. You know, just to make sure Danielle's going to be safe this week. Because then they're like, we can take out Scott this week. Monty can't play in the veto next week. I mean, they have the votes to get rid of Monty anyway, if they do get America's vote. But I guess they're figuring, like, maybe there's that off chance that we're not going to get it. And they could take out Scott instead. So, you know, they're thinking about that. They're kicking that idea around, and they want to pitch that to Alex, which we will get to in a little bit. But Danielle is like, I'm also planning on pulling the America card with Alex and basically tell her, like, look, it doesn't seem like Monty's very popular. Do you really want to be guilty by association? It's not a good look. That's pretty crafty. Alright, so then, I mean, it is an element of this game, though, this season, the whole America's Vote thing. Something to think about. So then, Morgan is trying to give Monty a pep talk because he's all like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to stay this week. Like, people aren't going to vote for me. So she's encouraging him, like, you need to fight. You need to, you know, work to be here. So she's like, why don't you talk to Justin, apologize again for what happened, and then maybe, like, make a deal with him, offer him safety if you win the next HOH. And Monty's like, Justin is never going to go for that. So then Scott joins them, and he really thinks that the best plan this week is to trick Shane into voting out Chrissy and voting against the rest of his alliance. Convince him that she's the target, but really they want to vote out Danielle. Don't you think Shane's going to talk to his allies? What? Shane is basically attached at the hip to Danielle. Come on. Excuse me. So then, swap out Morgan for Alex. So Alex is in there with Scott and Monty, and she's also on the flip Justin train. That's her thing right now. She's like, we could convince him to vote out Danielle, and then we could blame that vote on America, so, you know, they could kind of hide what he's done. And she thinks maybe they'll be able to flip Justin if they appeal to his emotional side, because they know that he is an emotional person. So they're like, why don't we get Whitney involved in this, because Justin likes Whitney. Maybe we could make something of it. Alright, so then, remember when Alex said that she didn't want Chrissy to find out that she could be going up on the block? Well, Monty decides to spill this information to Shane in the storage room. He's just like, yeah, so I know you've got Danielle's back, obviously, but there are 3 nominees, so I'd appreciate it if you would vote, you know, for that 3rd nominee and not me. And he's like, I don't know for sure what Alex is going to do as far as a replacement nominee, but it's looking like it's going to be Chrissy. So Shane's like, mental notes, mental notes, mental notes. And then Shane is like, yeah, sounds good. I'll definitely vote for Chrissy to go, of course. Like, you and me, we're good, buddy. So then Shane goes and shares this latest development with Chrissy and Neely. Oh, shit! So he's like, yeah, Monty just told me that you're probably going up as a replacement nominee. And they're all just like, what? That doesn't make sense. And Neely's like, all these jokers on the other side are trying to work with me, but if Alex does this, it's going to piss me off. So she's not happy about it. Chrissy's just like, Alex promised me I was going to be safe this week, so like, what the hell? So she's freaking out a little bit. So a little while later, Neely leaves. This is hilarious. Monty comes in. He's in there with Chrissy and Shane, and he's just like, yeah, I have no idea who's going up. Which is so funny, because Shane just told Chrissy that Monty said Chrissy's probably going up. So then, Chrissy and Shane are telling Monty, like, oh, we figured out a way that you could stay this week. Like, if we could convince Alex that Scott can go up on the block, we'll all vote him out and you'll be safe. So Monty's like, oh, for real? Like, yeah, let's get this going. Alright. Little break from the game talk real quick so we can talk about these punishments now. They started taking effect. And Shelby comes out of the diary room in her caddy outfit, which was Fun. She's also got to carry around these golf clubs, and this punishment is for a week. They looked really heavy, and she's like carrying it around on her back like a backpack. It's rough. But anyway, Scott begins his sand trap punishment. This one is for 24 hours. He's got to chill in that sand pit in the backyard. He's not allowed to go in the house. Not even for the bathroom. I thought before that he would be able to go in and use the bathroom, but he's got to use like a porta potty, I'm pretty sure. Gross! They gave him a polo and some khakis to wear. Fun. And he's got a sleeping bag, pillows. He's allowed to like layer up if it gets cold out there. He can smoke in his sand pit, so that's nice for him. And yeah, he's got to ask other people to bring him stuff like food and water if he, you know, when he needs it. And it sucks too because he's on slop this week. I kind of feel bad for him, but oh well. Alright. So then Danielle, last but not least, begins her punishment. She's doing that water one. So she also comes out of the diary room wearing a polo and some khakis, but she's got a bathing suit underneath. And I guess Big Brother gave her a new suit, and it was like really cute. So that's cool, Big Brother. But every time BB announces 4, and then there's this sound of like a ball falling in the water, Danielle has to go in the pool and retrieve 1 golf ball. There was like 20 in there at the time. And she has to use her hands, which means she like has to go all the way underwater. That sucks. And this punishment is also for a week, like Shelby's. That's rough. Alright, so Alex and Monty were having a strategy chat in the HOH room, and Monty's like, yeah, so Chrissy's freaking out about potentially going up on the block. Maybe because you told her that she's going up, you know? But he conveniently left out that he was the one that spilled that information. So then he's like, yeah, I also heard that Neely's going to be pissed if Chrissy goes up. So Alex is like, oh my god, what are we going to do? So Monty's like, well, the other side said that they would vote out Scott if he's the replacement nominee. And Alex is like, I don't really want to do that because I don't want to betray Scott. Like, I feel really bad for him, especially because he's been so isolated this week. She doesn't want to do that. Alex is still hoping that there's a chance they could flip Justin this week. So she's like, give me a chance to talk to him. And, you know, she thinks it could happen because Justin has told her in the past that he does not trust Shane and Danielle, and he wants to break up that showman. So she's like, this is his chance to do it. Maybe he'll go for it. But Monty is adamant that Justin will not vote in his favor. He's like, there's no freaking way. This is not going to work. And Alex is like, okay, what are you proposing we do then? Because we can't trust Shane. He's going to lie right to your face and then vote you out anyway. True. Okay. So then Morgan and Shelby join them in the HOH room. They're going back and forth and like circling around the different options. Just to recap, the 3 main options they are going through. Number 1, flip Justin to vote with their side and pretend that it was America's vote. Number 2, put Scott up on the block and sacrifice him to keep Monty. But they're not even sure if the other side would actually vote out Scott instead of Monty. Number 3, put up Chrissy as the replacement nominee, try to trick Shane into voting for her. They all still vote for Danielle. It's a tie. And then Alex votes out Danielle. These are all pretty far-fetched, but gotta give him props for trying. So then Whitney comes upstairs to join them. She's been spending a lot more time lately with the late night crew. And it is making her group a little bit nervous. They're like, is Whitney flipping on us? Like, what's going on here? But Whitney comes up and tells them Chrissy already knows that she could go up on the block. And Alex is just like, what the F? Like, how did this happen? Nazi. Okay, so then Alex pulls Justin up to the HOH room to pitch her plan. This is an important discussion. She's like, look, you could vote with us this week and save Monty. We'll blame it on America, so you'll still be good with your side, and we're going to protect you for this entire game. And Justin's just like, nope. He shoots it down. He's like, I really want to get rid of Monty this week. That's what I'm doing. So then Alex is trying to, again, appeal to his emotional side, and she's like, wasn't it awful how Whitney was getting so upset because Danielle was, you know, sticking her tongue out at Monty during the power veto competition? And Justin's like, yeah, that sucks. Like, I don't condone a lot of the petty crap that Danielle does, but I'm still voting out Monty. So that plan, total fail, not gonna happen. So then the late night crew, minus Justin, goes up to the HOH room to pitch to Alex. I don't think Danielle was up there either. So it was the whole late night crew except for Danielle and Justin, because Justin did not want to be a part of that. So they basically tell her, we've got the votes to take out Monty this week because America's going to vote with us. We the cool kids. But the choice is yours. Like, we're giving you this option. We're telling you, if you put Scott up on the block, you can save Monty because we'll vote out Scott instead. But guess what? They're lying because they were like, yeah, we're going to tell Alex that we're getting rid of Scott, but they would actually still vote out Monty. And then Alex is like, well, how do I know that you're actually going to vote him out? And they're all telling her, like, oh, we promise we will. We promise we're going to vote out Scott. Like, we don't want him around, and it's really going to help your game because everybody wants him out, so you're not going to have a target on your back. So she's like, well, are you definitely telling me that you won't target me if I put up Scott? And they're like, yeah. I don't think she fell for this. So Alex was telling her peeps about the late night crew's proposal, and they're all feeling really uncomfortable about it. They feel like they're kind of being forced to do this. They don't like it. So they're like, we're not going to nominate Scott because that would be like surrendering to the other side, and they're not about it. So they're like, let's put up Chrissy. We'll let America decide, and if Monty goes home, oh well. So then there's a new layer to their plan too. They want to try and get a sympathy vote from Neely. Again, good for them for trying. So Monty approaches Neely and he's like, well, it looks like the girls are going to vote me out because they want to vote with the house. They know the votes aren't there to get rid of Danielle. So he's like, I don't want to go out like cornbread. I don't want to go out on a unanimous vote. So could you maybe, you know, toss a vote to one of the other nominees instead of me? And Neely's just like, I'm going to have to think about that. I think, honestly, she was, like, touched by this because Neely and Monty do have some sort of weird bond going on, but no. She already told some other people, like, what happened with Monty and how he was asking for the sympathy vote, and I'm pretty sure they were like, no, you need to just, like, stick with us. All right. So then, last night, Shane and Danielle shared their first kiss, and then they start friggin' making out in the London room. Jason and Chrissy are in there, too, awake, and they call them out. They're just like, what the frig are you doing? I think Jason said it sounded like a dog was licking its butt or something. He was like, you need to get the hell out of here before I start, like, cutting myself. So then Shane and Danny go outside. They're, like, making out more, whatever. They come back to the bedroom a little while later, and, like, some shit went down. I'm not going to speculate about what happened. I really don't care. But anyway, this morning, scenarios. Everybody was going over the same damn scenarios over and over again. Alex is all like, what am I going to do? I feel like I'm going to puke. And then finally, 1 p.m., it's time for the veto meeting. Shane uses it on himself as expected, and Alex nominates Chrissy in his place. So that means that either Chrissy, Danielle, or Monty will be leaving tomorrow. Let me know in the comments who you guys are voting for to go home. And until tomorrow, much love.